Wasn't like the syndication rights for Seinfeld like $1 billion? Like a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, they just signed that crazy. I think Larry David, they referenced that in Curb. It's like, you just signed the Hulu deal. You have a lot of money or something like that. Somebody makes a joke to him. It's like, my wife took half of it.
You know, speaking of a lot of money, I want to put something past you guys right now.
Oh boy, we gonna Shark Tank us?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no. It's
I'm Cuban.
I want to hear
Damn it.
what you guys would do.
The bald chef.
How do you guys tip? Do you guys tip on performance or do you just tip regardless? That's my
Well,
first
no,
question.
you are notoriously a terrible tipper.
I tip on performance, but I want to know what you guys think quick, and then I'm going to say
What's your
I'm
idea
gonna
of
say
a
what
good,
happened.
What's your idea of a good tip? You have a good waiter.
I think a 5
server.
spot, no matter what, is a good tip. No
Are
matter
you
what you're doing.
What if your bill's like?
At least 5. And then you go by the bill, and then you go by service. You know, you average it out.
We were at dinner
There we go.
once.
I didn't want to get into this. I just want to hear.
No, you brought it up, so I'm gonna tell this story I have, just so people know what kind of person you are.
You did bring this on yourself, yeah.
We're at dinner.
Not really.
I pay with credit card. He pays with cash. No. Okay, here's real. I left cash. He paid with card. He wrote on the card, I left cash too, under tip.
You're awful.
What,
You are
man?
really awful.
All right, well, the point I want to get to is
Yeah, what's your point here? What?
I tipped.
Who didn't you tip, basically? Tell
I
us.
went out to eat.
Okay.
Well, we picked
When?
up. Picked
Recently?
up. Picked up to
Yeah,
eat.
yeah.
Picked up
Dude,
food.
next time you
Easy.
get food with him, just watch how much he tips. It's one of my
Picked up
favorite things to
food.
do.
And to me, there's 2 kinds of tippers. It's like you can tip big, and then it's like you like the satisfaction of tipping big. You know, you hear the guy, "Oh, thanks, man, I appreciate it." And it's like, "Yeah, I helped you out." And then there's me who tips. I tipped this guy $5, and he's like, "Oh, wow, thanks, man." And in my head, I'm like, "Ah, shit, I tipped too much."
Wait, for picking up food?
Yeah, I felt bad. You know, coronavirus.
That's nothing.
No,
Normal-
5 spot for picking
that's
up food.
fine.
That's
Yeah.
that's acceptable.
You don't think that's like a $2, $1 tip for picking up food? I did half the job.
I mean, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't tip.
No,
right?
you
No.
went. I think you went a little generous there with 5 for
Right.
picking up food. You guys went and picked it up.
I picked it up.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
I think I drive home.
Yeah, you
smell
overtipped.
it the whole time.
You're doing all the legwork.
Yeah,
You know,
they should be paying me. I should
tipping
get
is
tipped.
actually in Animal Crossing. You can visit other people's islands and sell your turnips. We discuss this for different prices.
on someone else's island.
Yeah, you can visit online, but it's customary to leave a tip. So the other day I made 1.8 million, so I left a $300,000 tip. But when I got to our airport, there was a second where I turned around and just looked and like I could. Why shouldn't I keep it?
Why'd you tip that much, guy?
Well, you know, it's because I
Oh, you want her land and you
I
tipped?
made a lot of money. 1.8 on turnips is a lot, so I was feeling good, like you said. I was
So you
feeling
give
good.
half of it?
You're trying to show off now, huh?
1.8, 300,000. It's not half.
That's pretty. You're pretty.
I walked away with 1.5
You're pretty much paying for your kids
million.
to go to college, guy.
I've got 2.4 already in the bank.
Teddy, but it's like a Hooters situation where they tip more because the waitresses are good looking. He's trying to show off his turnips to this person's island, and
Trying to show off my nips.
yeah.
I guess. All right.
Live from Long Island, New York. It's time for the Nerd Soup Podcast. Starring Anthony J.Q. Nash,
I don't know what's going on.
Teddy,
I just called Chief, and this is it.
Lorenzo Stu Warren,
I did sleep. I did
Yeah.
sleep on this movie, literally, and
Marissa,
Go Spider-Man.
Aaron the Nerd Soup Monkey,
Wish my dreams came true.
and your host, Bo Oliver Blue.
She had the cake too. I was like, what? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast. I'm Bo Oliver, joined today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, 3 weeks in a row. Wow, look at that.
This is nice.
And we are back to talk about movies, TV, video games, all the stuff in the world of that stuff. We actually have a lot of stories to talk about, so don't want to bury the lead. But Synder Cut, wow, holy shit. And you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all the places where podcasts are. Send us your questions at NerdSoup for you, NerdSoup on Twitter, Bo Soup, NerdSoup Monkey, Teddy Nerd Soup, Anthony JQ Nash, Purple Girl NS.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys say? Should we just get right into the first story? It's a big one. It's a
Let's
big
do
tuna.
it.
It's a Bill Parcells.
Never thought this was gonna happen.
The Synder Cut coming to HBO Max in 2021.
Did you guys think it was getting serious when the celebrities tweeted about it and the actors, or were you just thinking that it was just more?
Well, that's what the
Still
Imagine
funny.
video was, right? It was a dedication to Zack Synder to release his movie. Imagine if we got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter 2.
I think it was definitely gaining a lot of momentum for the past few months. This is something that I didn't think it would ever come to pass, but it just goes to show if you
Persistent
make a
enough.
make a hashtag and keep going. And this is the second time
Dead
recently.
ass, man. That's
it just
fucking
goes
true,
to show
man.
if you make a hashtag and keep going. That's
Yeah.
all this was. Just make that hashtag and
This is the second time very recently that we've had this outpouring from fans make studios kind of change their minds or do something different. We had it with Sonic with the animation and now this. So it's interesting. I guess it's a good thing to listen to fans, right?
If you're
kind of
them.
what you're making the film for, but it is a weird situation. But at this point, just give it to me.
that's the thing. I don't know if
Why not if you're them?
Yeah, but are they overestimating people who know about this movie's existence? Is this just a thing that exists on Twitter, on film Twitter? Or if I went to, like I always say, the Saul Hill test. Hey, Saul Hill, the Snyder Cut of Justice League is coming out.
Zero chance.
He would
that
say,
happens.
who, what now? Excuse me?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think what they're adding a $20 to $30 million budget. So
That's the thing. I'm so confused as to what this is because there were so many reports saying that. I mean, I thought the first report was that he left in the middle of production, that he had to leave and Joss Whedon was brought on to finish it. So
I thought it was done, and they had it out.
right, but then there were so many reports. Well, he really didn't finish it, and a lot of his stuff. The VFX aren't even close to being finished. And then we're hearing about the added $20 to $30 million budget, and now we're hearing that it could be 4 hours, or it could be released in chapters.
yeah, 6 episodes, something like that.
So I mean, with it also feels like if it's good, we're never going to build on this anyway.
Yeah.
Because Affleck's out, Henry Cavill's probably out, and if it's bad, was it even worth it? I don't know. What?
I think it's relatively big in terms of, I guess, our sub community, but to the greater population or casual movie fan, I don't think this really means anything to them.
It's like a pie chart. It's like the real tiny sliver. People who want the Snyder Cut and care about it.
Right, and are those the people that you really want
Yeah.
to bring on for HBO Max? I don't know if it's that big for them, if it's that big of a news story. I mean, it's like you said, it's big for us, but
A big
it's
enough
not-
platform, though.
Like, actually, you should have probably put this on the topics. Like Joe Rogan, that to me is a major
Yeah.
move. You acquire Joe Rogan.
Are we next?
Good for Spotify, but HBO Max releasing the Snyder Cut. I can't wait to see it. I really can't wait to see it at this point.
Do they say like what is different with his cut?
Dude,
Like-
well, listen to this. They're saying it could include Captain Atom, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and Darkseid.
Wow.
So that means who's playing Darkseid? Who's playing any of these characters?
Well, they said
now?
they used about 1/4 of his material in the regular Justice League movie.
Huh.
And that's the thing, too. I don't think I hate the Justice League movie, or you do either. I kind of enjoy it. I don't think it's great by any stretch, but part
I
of the
thought it was alright.
part of the problem is that it does feel a little messy and incoherent at times. So I think this version, if it is Zack Snyder's version, it's him throughout the whole film, then those problems will go away. I don't know how much better the story can get when you still have Steppenwolf as a villain who was god-awful. So unless they do a complete overhaul in that aspect, I don't know what the ceiling of this movie could be. But I think the floor, since I already liked the first one a fair amount, so I think that's the floor. So I don't think it's going to be bad by any stretch. But I don't know if the ceiling is going to be all that high either.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy for Zack Snyder. It seems like something he was passionate about, and he seemed very thrilled that this is actually going to be done. So maybe he takes this budget and he's able to piece it together and create something that he really wanted to make in the first place. And I think for a lot of fans of his and fans of DC in general, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess it's a victory for them. It's
The only bad thing is I think David Ayer tweeted a gif of the Joker. Relax, all right? We're not going to move on to Ayer Cut, please.
Well, he's so inconsistent, too, with what he posts online. Zack Snyder has always been consistent. I have a cut out there. I didn't get to do my movie. But Ayer has said, when it came out, this is my cut. And then nobody liked it. And he was like, well, there's an extended cut out there. And then he gets criticized for the damage tattoo. And he's like, that was a mistake. And then somebody offers a somewhat smart interpretation of the tattoo. And he goes, a lot of people missed that. So for him, there's not really the cult of David Ayer out there. I mean, some people do.
Oh, no, it
like
was
that movie.
people who were saying release the Ayer Cut. It's like, what's
Oh,
next?
no.
Stop at this, please.
No, because Suicide Squad, with Justice League, you can tell that this is two chefs in the kitchen. With Suicide Squad, it's just bad. It's just, possibly studio interference, but it's just a misfire. But
Is he going to be able to get his cut out, though? Because is this going to be his full thing, his full vision of what he wanted? Or is he going to have to work with pieces from, like, is he going to start from where he picked up?
that's the thing with DC. I'm so frustrated with the direction that they went, and now it's like they're literally going backwards. For a movie that, for what? For like I said, it is a great victory for the artist and for his fans. I
Yeah.
can't bury my head in the sand and say that this guy isn't popular and he doesn't have a fan base. But from the studio's perspective, it just to me it just seems like going in the wrong direction. But like I said, I'm excited to see if you want to dedicate the money to fuck it. If you've got that type of money and if
Not much else going on though, right?
right,
But-
yeah, I guess that. But it also comes out in 7 months.
But I kind of agree with what Aaron said, which I do and I don't, because I liked what happened with the Sonic. They heard the fans and they fixed it up, made it better. But doing this, it goes on what you said. You're going backwards. Like, what's the point of doing this?
But did that
Because
movie?
you can't build on. If it goes off and it's great, like, what are you gonna do with it?
Right. Well,
Just
that's
sit
the
on
thing with the studios. I feel like I don't know. If Sonic looked like he did in the first trailer, would that movie have been worse for you guys?
No.
That's the thing. What was the point of spending that extra money? I don't think that it really made that much of a difference. It was to appease a lot of people that weren't even going to see it. I played Sonic as a kid. I know what he should look like. That looks stupid. So it's like, oh, we'll change it for another $30 million. Great, I'm never going to see it though. That's why these studios they're trying to appease a loud minority
But that's such a
in the film community.
That's such a huge change, though, man. You change directors and put out a different movie than
Right,
what
but
you're putting out.
It's
such
over. You're already
Yeah,
doing,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's such a huge change. Like, you might as well just like stick by your decision. Why put that out?
Joss Whedon probably feels like a piece of shit.
Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah, no, and everybody
Imagine for
throws
him? Wow.
Well, for
Yeah.
the past couple of years, he had the Batgirl movie. He comes on to do this, and there have been a whole load of fans who throw him under the bus and blame him for everything. And I think that's so unfair for Joss Whedon. I mean, what's the big success that he's had since the first Avengers? He had a lukewarm reception to Age of Ultron, and then he comes on for this, and it kind of, I don't know if he's in director's jail, but he hasn't really done much since. So I don't know. It's just a weird situation. I can't believe that it's actually happening, but I can't. I wish I was behind the scenes for this one. I wish I was a fly on the wall.
I don't know how it's going to turn out, and I guess because when you see all those characters and all the stuff you wanted to include, you're kind of like, well, that's a lot to put in one movie, but they're gonna give them a almost 4-hour runtime and maybe 6 episodes. So who knows? We'll wait and see. I'm not expecting too much, but if it's just a fun movie with some of my favorite characters in there, then I'm probably gonna enjoy it to some degree. I just hope that it's not a thing where when the movie comes out and maybe it's on par with the first Justice League, but all the Snyder fans are just like, oh, this is the best movie ever. It's so great. Look what you missed out on. And if it's actually pretty good, then all the people who on the other side are going to still not like it regardless. I think there's going to be a lot of that, no matter what this movie is. When we finally see
that
it.
was your tweet, and that's...
And it's going to be
not good.
annoying.
Right, yeah. Well, that's also my problem with the studio making that decision, is that you're just going to make this more divisive. This isn't going to bring people together. And just to go from an artistic standpoint, Zack Synder as a filmmaker, usually more Zack Synder is worse. Whenever his movies run for longer, people always say that. You got to watch extended version of Watchmen. It's just more. It's more of the same.
I really like Watchmen. Extended version of BVS does nothing. And I like BVS.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
People who
This is
say
gonna
that
be-
is so much better, it's not.
It's going to be a couple shots of these characters that we've never seen. Maybe Darkseid telling Steppenwolf, you need to find the mother box. It's like, oh my God, Darkseid.
What's the
Oh
extended
my
one
God,
fucking
Thanos.
sucks.
Right, that's the thing. There's no way that a Snyder Cut makes Steppenwolf better because he looks bad. At the end of the day, the amount of man hours you would need to make Steppenwolf have him look somewhat real.
Or just change his motivations and story completely. I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Well, when you hear some of the reports of the earlier leaks before this movie even came out about what he wanted to do, it sounded like a Zack Snyder movie. That he was just going to throw everything against the wall, the kitchen sink, literally. I mean,
Hopefully it sticks.
BBS. Yeah, hopefully it sticks. It was massive, and then it wasn't that when it came out because he left halfway through.
Unless they're trying to do this to try and set up solo movies and spin-offs. Could be trying to do that.
Like all these characters already have spin-offs and solo movies.
Oh, really?
Well,
Well, I mean, Wonder Woman.
Well,
I
not
guess
them.
The
The
new
films.
ones.
The films.
new
Yeah,
ones.
the new one. Yeah, the new guys.
And the continuity doesn't. It's weird now.
oh, I threw continuity out the window with DC a long time ago. I think. What about the precedent this sets? Because I think we're always on the side of directors and filmmakers over studios in
Yes.
terms of what they want to do. So I think you can either view it as it sets precedent for fans dictating what should be made or how something should be made. But I like to look at it as maybe it sets precedent for maybe filmmakers to get their vision out there. So that wouldn't be a bad standard to have going forward. I don't think it changes much in the whole scope of the film industry, but
the fans are the ones seeing the movies.
yeah,
You know?
no, true. But at time, if you go by whatever fans want all the time, then what you're gonna get is just what you expected.
Right, exactly.
It's true.
It's at the end of the day, fans are not writers and they're not directors. I mean, so many times we see a movie and a studio will make a mistake and we'll say as fans, how do you fuck that up? That's so easy. But it's also easy for us because we're Monday morning quarterbacking. That's what we're doing. Everything is hindsight. So
We're seeing the end product of an entire film being made.
right, and a lot of times we see it all the time where studios are money hungry and they're making movies to appeal to the masses and they compromise artistic integrity. For this, it wasn't like the studio was keeping Zack Snyder down and telling him you can't do your movie your way.
Yeah, no,
It was a personal issue and he had to leave. The studio had to fumble it. And a lot of people were upset with Warner Brothers for rushing this because the CEO or the guy who was running Warner Brothers had a bonus in line if this movie came out by that date. So a lot of people thought that had something to do with it. I mean, if you want to get this right, you give Zack Snyder time to grieve and come back. And
that's what they should have done.
artistically, right. Yeah, now it's 4 years later, you have this sewn together version of his vision. It's insane. I think we're underselling how batshit fucking insane this is. And for the implications for like the studio giving artists more freedom, it's complex for this situation.
Have the actors came out and said that they didn't like Joss Whedon's take on Justice League?
Not necessarily. I think it's been more of he inspires a lot of loyalty from his actors, similar to James Gunn. When James Gunn got fired, they all came to his defense, and he seems like a good guy. I've always said that when you see him talk about his movies, and
Well, Joss, I
seems
mean,
like a sweetheart.
It's got to say a lot if they're saying to release a Snyder Cut, though. That's all I'm going to say about it.
And even Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
he's not involved with the studio with him anymore, and he's supporting it too.
I think
Could it be that much better?
if I was Joss, I don't know how he's taking it. I think he could just take it as they're showing support for Zach and the actors, that is. But like all the fan reaction, that's gotta suck. Where everyone just fucking despises your movie and disregards it as a total piece of garbage, and they just want the version that I guess they were promised when Zack Snyder came on board to do this film. But I mean, he's not. I mean, Avengers is still that first Avengers movie. Thinking about bringing all those characters together and probably the stepping stone for the greater extended universes that we see now, and he hit it out of the park with that. So I don't really blame Joss for coming in. Like you said, just how fumbled the movie is, him coming into a half-done movie and just kind of trying to put the pieces
tough,
together.
man.
And he's not Zack Snyder, so obviously he's gonna have a different vision, and it's just gonna make a mess.
Well, we saw it with Star Wars too. Same thing happened with Star Wars.
We see it a lot.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, I guess we'll move on here. We have news about The Mandalorian season 2? Season 2 or season 3 for this? Which casting? What are we doing here?
Season 2.
Season 2. Timothy Olyphant is apparently playing a character from the books. Get this character's name. Cobb Vanth. I'm going to say that none of us at this table are familiar with this character. I have not read the Aftermath series.
You mean Cobb Vanth, the self-appointed sheriff of the Tatooine-based settlement Freetown. He wears a mysterious set of Mandalorian armor that was acquired from the Jawas who scavenged the wreckage of Jabba the Hutt's sail barge shortly after the events of Return of the Jedi.
Was that off
That Cobb-
Star Wars
Cobb Vanth?
Wikipedia or just Wikipedia itself?
Yeah, I know who he is. No, I copied and pasted, so I got it all right here.
Well, a lot of people think he's going to be that mysterious character that helps out Ming-Na Wen's character when she kind of gets beaten up by the Mandalorian and his buddy.
Yeah, when he comes in the Spurs, and everyone thought it was Boba Fett at first in season 1. So I think that
This kind of lines up.
Yeah.
And they said Boba Fett is going to be in this season, correct?
Yes. So maybe just trying to get his armor back. But, I mean, when I heard this news, I just thought about, what came to mind is just how Cobb Vanth, he's the self-appointed sheriff of Tatooine.
That's a great role.
I think we all got
The
remember
self-appointed sheriff.
I always love
How
those
does that come about?
Got to take power. It's like Caesar, He's basically the self-appointed sheriff of Rome at his height.
Well, Timothy Olyphant, I
Not the
mean,
best way to run a town, though.
he's perfect to join this universe. When I think of a Old West cowboy type, he's perfect for that role.
Yeah, I mean,
In
Deadwood.
Justified, Deadwood, even in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's playing a character that it basically is him doing that role. So
Right.
I think it's
And
perfect.
it fits the vibes for
vibe.
what they're
Yeah.
going with the show, where it is the space western. They are taking it back to that first movie in Tatooine. It is a space/samurai type movie. So yeah, no, he definitely fits. And I'm so excited for this because the first season, we just reviewed Iron Man 2, and I wanted to talk about Favreau as a storyteller. That he's a bit inconsistent, but when he's on, he's great. And I really enjoyed the first season of The Mandalorian. So with the lore and with the characters personally, I'm really excited to see them coming back. So
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this character, Boba Fett, and you have.
they're even saying Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, that's been rumored too. You have the Mandalorian trying to find more about Baby Yoda's, I guess, his people, and even
All right,
the
right
stuff
now.
with Giancarlo Esposito and the Darksaber,
Luke, does he ever appear in The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think he has to.
played by Sebastian Stan.
I think you got to do it. It's one of see, that's where the fans got it right, you know? Idris Elba is Jon Stewart. How haven't the studios done this already, you know? That's where you listen to the fans. Bring in Sebastian Stan, man. Come on. I want to see Luke see little baby Yoda. Yeah, right?
And a little baby
That'd be nice.
lightsaber.
Yeah, right? Little cheese cutter. But it's also the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're
40
celebrating
years.
that as well, yeah. It's funny because the older classics are close to, like, Citizen Kane is 1941, you know, in 20 years. That's going to be 100 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So it's like movies that, you know, the movies are getting up there. But with Star Wars, yeah, 40 years old, Empire Strikes Back, still considered the best one by a lot of people.
I was watching the scene with Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in the cantina, and Han Solo's.
That's A New Hope.
Come on. You gonna wait for it after in the finish?
What? I was just saying the scene I was watching. That's not what I was going with somewhere else, guys.
Oh, okay.
I was just say Han's
Guys.
I love an Empire.
I love how you wanted to say Guy. I was going
Yeah.
somewhere else, Guy, but you had to get both of
I
us.
know.
So it sounded cheesy instead.
I was
It
gonna
didn't
say
sound intimidating.
Han Solo's acting is just so much better than Luke's.
I was going somewhere else, guys. Yeah, no, it is. It really is.
Seriously.
He's such a better actor in that first
He
introduction,
saves the
right?
scene.
Right? He's like, who's going to fly it, kid? You? It's like, you bet I can.
My favorite part of Empire
get outta
was
here.
when the Ewoks helped them take down the stormtroopers.
You mean in the entire... Wait, that's not...
I know, I was doing
Oh,
thing
okay.
with Teddy.
Well,
Keep up.
you guys have thrown me all over the place. I don't know with you two.
I was
Because
just
it's
making
either
a statement,
funny or
and
you
you
guys
got-
are... Yeah, well...
I'll toss-
You either making fun of Star Wars or you actually like it. I don't know.
You
with
know, I
you
probably
two.
could have just said that Han Solo's acting is a lot better than Luke's, but
Yeah, you could have just said, Han Solo. It's crazy how much of a better actor he is. Mark Hamill's good. He's okay. He gets better in The Last Jedi. It took him about 40 years, but better voice actor. You guys want to move on to the next story here?
Sure.
We have the. Do you guys want to talk about Joe Rogan?
Not
I
really.
feel like we should,
Joe
right?
Rogan
Though?
deal? Yeah, I mean it's podcasts. It's interesting.
Can we get our fucking contract already? What's going on?
I'm sure we got a fan question for that. Let's move on to the next story. We have
We're
Spike
supposed to have a
Lee's.
fucking Tenet trailer, but that's not coming out yet.
Yeah, I
No,
got
you
ripped.
have to buy the Tetris game for Wii Fit.
Dude, I saw that. I was flabbergasted. Trailer releasing on Fortnite? What is this world we live in?
Well, it's the big event that people are watching. It's like releasing a trailer with a sporting event. Monday Night Football, the new Star Wars trailer.
But yeah, that's
Yeah, how
a
many
TV.
people playing Fortnite?
I
though?
don't have Fortnite.
What do you mean that's the TV? You think everybody's got a TV? You think everybody
Yeah, I
watches
do,
Monday
actually.
Night Football? You know how many people cut cable now and don't have ESPN? It's the same thing.
But Fortnite, like,
Yeah, there's a whole generation of...
Monday Night Football is a Super Bowl every Monday.
It generates millions of eyeballs every night.
but how do you watch a trailer on Fortnite?
You go on Fortnite, and there's probably going to be like some thing you have to do, and you unlock the trailer.
Or you just follow the instructions. It might be like in the home screen or something.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
you're such a grandpa.
That's fucking weird.
I mean, I'm agreeing with him.
trailers on Fortnite.
You think that's like fine?
It's a new way to market a movie.
Tenet though?
Are you gonna get Fortnite
I
to watch the
understand
Tenet
if
trailer?
it's like
It's a deal. It's more for Fortnite. It's more like it's symbiotic here. They're helping each other out because what it's going to do, it's going to premiere on Fortnite, and then like 4 hours later, they'll drop it on Twitter. That always happens. It's like, why do you premiere a trailer at a Comic-Con with only 2,000 people in the crowd?
that's like
Because
a
it builds
special
up
treat
hype.
for
It's
the
like,
fans.
ooh, the trailer's on Fortnite. I'm not going on Fortnite, but it's coming to us soon.
But
yeah, but
that's
people
a-
are there
it's
to.
Yeah,
people
that's a
are there to see
trailer
it.
being released to your core demographic.
Yeah.
Are you're saying that the kids on Fortnite, those 3 kids that came together to discuss if Fortnite was overrated, you don't think they're going to review Tenet?
No,
Zero chance.
Does Tenet involve time travel? Make that Photoshop, please. Somebody hasn't done that? You haven't made that meme yet? Come on, what are you doing?
man. No, I was actually gonna try to make a fishing meme of Animal Crossing, and it's the Dune trailer, but I gave up because I was gonna try to make a pun. You know, it's like, oh, you caught a
No, what
sea
you
bass. Maybe it should have been a whatever. I couldn't make a pun for Dune.
There's a way
A
that you
worm?
can angle your character where it looks like you're watching TV, and you can Photoshop something on the TV. So you should
Wow.
do something like that. Yeah.
I don't have a Switch.
If only one of us had a Switch.
I made the Animal Crossing joke not because I fully understand the reference, because I'm just trying to be hip with the times.
the
You
building
two
block.
love that. You guys love being ignorant about things. I don't know much about Animal Crossing.
I wasn't bragging. I just
Yeah,
don't.
you
I was
love
just trying to
being-
capitalize off its success in a tweet, which I don't think it's doing that well.
What about the Five Bloods by Spike Lee here, this new trailer? I'll tell you what, I watched the trailer. I don't know much about the story, but I was very intrigued by the trailer. Going back in time, changing aspect ratios.
That was awesome. I like that. How
It's
they
Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How they changed the color grading and
Chadwick Boseman.
aspect ratio when they went back to those scenes, and it's a Netflix premiere, so that's awesome, especially now in this current climate where you can get now it's Academy Award winner Spike Lee.
And he's been
A
on
film on Netflix.
an
staying
upward
home.
trajectory here. I mean, mid-2000s, he kind of fell off a bit, but with Chirac, the Black Klansman, and now the Five Bloods, he's back looking like it's a Spike Lee joint, There's a Spike Lee film, and then there's a Spike Lee joint.
Yeah,
Old
joint.
boy, Spike Lee film. He got game, Spike Lee joint. I just bought the Criterion, do the right thing. Great cover art.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out early June, right? So
Yeah, early June on Netflix, right?
yeah, Netflix. I'm excited. Fuck it. I mean, I think we need more.
We need more war movies, right?
No, we need more movies, new movies that
On Netflix.
high quality
We need
to
more
watch
movies.
right now.
I can't believe you didn't put also on this list the Academy Awards, considering pushing it back.
Oh, I didn't see that.
How far back? Depends how far back.
I don't know how far back.
Like a week or two?
No, like they might postpone the 2021 Academy Awards and just go to 2022.
Wow.
So it'll be like a super award.
Super, maybe all
Oh,
the
the
films.
two and one?
I wonder if they would increase the nominations.
You
No,
would
just
have
do
to
two
at
and
that
one.
point.
No, yeah, I'd say this is the elite of the elite. If you win this year, we got double
Yo.
the competition.
You get
know?
two. You get two awards.
Yeah, you get two. You get two-headed Academy guy, two-headed Oscar,
Wow.
kissing each other. Yeah, right. You like that, right?
That is.
That is one of my fantasies. Yes.
Amy Adams holding off a double-headed Oscar. I mean,
That'd be your ultimate
Yeah.
fantasy. Yeah. She brings you as her date. I can imagine you dump your whole savings on one of those charity things to meet Amy Adams.
I did. What's the thing they do with?
Didn't they have David Portnoy? He won
Yeah, he
For
won a
Goodell,
game with
right?
Goodell in his
No,
box.
I did
or
one
his
of
house
those.
or something like that.
yeah, it's like in his basement to watch.
What's that company called? It's where.
Oh,
it's like a
Maze.
yeah, I did that to meet Amelia Clark on the season 8 shooting location. That would have been dope.
I did want to meet like Robert Downey Jr. for Infinity War. I
Yeah,
donated
it's-
like $20.
It's like the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, can't win the lottery.
I could care less about the charity. I just wanted to meet Robert Downey Jr.
Oh wow.
I mean, I'm just being honest, right? We don't
So-
celebrate honesty in this culture.
Oh no, yeah, I just wanted to be on the set. I didn't even know what it was for.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think I remember?
Take a picture in front of the Iron Throne. Hell yeah. I'll get like 200 likes on that Instagram.
Yeah, that would be fire. You kidding me? Have people throw it on their stories, get in circulation. Let's move on to the next story here. We have Peter Dinklage and Jason Momoa will star in an upcoming vampire film. But Dinklage is playing Van Helsing,
What?
so it's not just another vampire film. It's like one of the...
Best of all time.
Yeah, it's a vampire hunter guy. You know?
Has he done much since Game of Thrones?
He had a movie where he played. It was another, not obviously not a vampire slayer, but he was like a detective, and I didn't manage to see it. But he was in Days of Future Past about 6 years ago.
So he's been working.
Yeah, Endgame.
yeah, he's right. Endgame,
Infinity War.
Infinity War, right?
Oh shit.
Which I actually like him more and more the more I see him in Infinity War.
Thor.
That's what killing you means. But he is such a fantastic actor, and I like this. I like to see him just playing roles where he's just a guy. You know, it's not about his height or anything like that. Where he's just he's Van Helsing.
Well, it's gotta be tough going against Momoa though, no?
Momoa is a very I would imagine he's fit. He's in shape. He's been drinking a lot of O negative, I guess would be the best for them, right? It's the best for us.
No, it's opposite.
AB positive.
Oh, it's the opposite. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just get anything else.
Well, I don't know too much because it's a very early stages, but he's either going to try to kill Momoa or they team up.
Ooh,
I'd like a team up.
I think a team up would be cool.
That'd be fun. Yeah, a little Game of Thrones reunion. We never got Cal and Tyrion, so
Are we back on vampires?
I think
Okay, yeah.
vampires are making a bit of a comeback here.
I feel like there was a while where
It
vampires.
goes to 2020.
It's like how zombies are now. Like, I was like, more zombies.
Oh yeah, no, when we were in high school,
Vampires.
Twilight.
Twilight.
yeah,
That's really it.
the big one. Yeah, Twilight was a big one.
They really did a number
There
on
were some vampires in Harry Potter, right? No, they weren't.
There was a vampire episode in Hey Arnold.
Oh no, True Blood.
True.
Yeah,
True
around
Blood.
the same time.
Yeah.
There's a vampire episode in Hey Arnold.
Yeah, Sid's a vampire.
That's a disturbing show to watch now.
It is.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up.
I'll watch it though. It's great for me.
You guys want to go to fan questions?
Yeah.
Not sure why I whispered there, but
That's for the fan to decide.
People you call up to the show, you better be ready. That's what you're supposed to do. Sitting there arguing and you're trying to spell your name and all of this other stuff. It's not your show, it's my show. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your mind. Don't call up here unless you got something to say.
ooh, I always like doing this because it's Martin Scorsese. You know, he's one of the best. Did you just throw up into your hand?
No.
Oh, that's what it sounded like over there.
Done that before.
I think you just
Were you there on the train?
this this question here from
Yes.
Nighthawk at
From the Yankee game when you threw up all over the subway.
That's so
yes,
gross.
I was
yeah,
there.
I was there last summer.
Dude, I deadass thought I was being so discreet. I'm like leaned over in my seat, puking in my hand.
Threw up on the subway and then the LIRR.
Oh God, it's disgusting. This question here from Nighthawk at Broad Fawn.
We had Crown Royal shots before we left.
Dude, that was the most disgusting night of my life.
What are your Scorsese rankings? Teddy?
What's my favorite one?
Well, I like Martin would be
Django?
one. Probably his daughter two. I don't know if there are any others.
Django?
That's not one of them. That's Tarantino.
God, fuck her, yeah. Scorsese.
If you want to get your Tarantino rankings, I always change with Scorsese.
I get them mixed up. all the
I don't
time.
know. I really love The Irishman. I would say The King of Comedy, 1, 2, Silence, 3. Fuck, I don't know.
Silence at 2?
I love Silence. Hey, it's one of my 10 out of 10s for him, right?
I think so.
Maybe Raging Bull, King Comedy, Silence, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, and The Departed.
No Casino?
No.
I'm looking at his movies right now. Goodfellas, Irishman, Wolf of Wall Street, Departed,
But it's bound to change.
Casino.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Goodfellas is definitively number one for me, but I love The Aviator too. I don't know what it is about that movie. It's not really that high up when people discuss his filmography, but I just love that movie.
Why is Shark Tale in here?
He's in it.
Oh.
He plays the fish with the eyebrows.
No, he doesn't, really?
Yeah, that's him.
Raging Bull's good too.
Shutter Island.
That's a movie that kind of gets. I feel like people don't really like that movie too much.
It's divisive. It's one of those you either love it or you hate it, and it's so funny for a lot of those movies. I always come down in the middle. I like Shutter Island.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite of
Well,
his.
his filmography for our lifetime, Gangs of New York, right, when we're about that age of watching his movies. Gangs of New York, Aviator.
Well, even Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, talk about a movie that had such great crossover appeal because it's Martin Scorsese, and that's what Leo said. This guy's in his 70s and he's still making punk rock here with his movies. You know, he's still so.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like it's the same thing with Mad Max Fury Road with George Miller, where some directors they're just able to stay relevant. They know how to tap on the zeitgeist of their times, even when it's past their own primes. But you look at the films that they're putting out, you could still say that they're in their primes. But Wolf of Wall Street is so many people that don't love movies just love that film.
Yeah. I think I'd round it out with like The Departed, and I do love The Irishman too. I mean, it's a little recent, but I still think. I mean,
think about it all the time.
I connect more to his more recent films besides Goodfellas, but then I do maybe like a Raging Bull or even A Last Temptation of Christ, which is a change up from what we're usually used to with him. But
I think arguably he may be, for me, he's my third favorite American director. I think after Kubrick and David Lynch, he's that good, man. And I think he's got top 10 all-time international consideration. He's so good.
well, I don't think he's ever made a bad movie, so it's really hard.
No, he's never bad.
It's hard with trying to, I guess, pick one over the other. It just goes by preference. And I do think he's at his best when he does the gangster type, Departed, Goodfella, Casino type films. So I tend to enjoy those more than the others. But like I said, the others are still fantastic.
This question here from Nick at Nick Lannister 12. Favorite drug?
I don't do drugs.
Just say no. Weed, definitely.
Yo, you know what I've been considering? Doing an edible. Like,
Oh, yeah?
really doing an edible.
Are your knees aching?
I really want to do one.
Wow,
I deserve to get high.
You're
I'm entitled to it.
Is that? Did you have the same conversation with Elena?
No.
Ted, you can't do an edible. You're going to freak out. I deserve to get high.
I won't freak out, right?
let's boogie.
No, you should be fine. What do you say?
So let's boogie.
Let's boogie? Is that your catchphrase for doing drugs?
I mean,
got some meth.
I'm not getting tested anytime soon, so
Let's boogie.
why not, right?
This is Frank and Always Sunny.
Can you test positive after doing an edible?
What, for weed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't tell me you can't test
I don't have
positive.
my PhD.
I don't know. I don't read.
Can we get a stat on that?
Stats. This question here from Josh. We get a lot of questions from Josh. Cap at Josh___D. Top 5 celebrities you would want as president.
JJ Watt.
The Rock.
Similar types. Big,
J.J.
inspiring.
He's the man, dude.
You know what? I don't. It depends who he puts around him. If he builds a solid team, Secretary of State, like J.J. Watt can't lead the Texans to a championship by himself. He needs a good team. He's never had one, but he's a great player. I think he'd be a good leader.
You know, do you think if we got into the Oval Office, we'd actually do okay? I feel like we'd be the group that like they would call us in to like entertain the foreign guests that come in.
The fuck are you talking about?
What do we live in a
know?
feudalistic society where we're the clowns?
Yeah.
Bring in the YouTube clowns. Juggle for me.
Well, I think that would be probably our only.
Putin's like,
avenue
yes,
in the Oval Office.
We don't have this in Russia. Where did you get? I love. There's always one comment about you, Ted, that always pops in my head. It's is Teddy just high on shrooms 24/7? This question here from Jamie Reese at Jamie Stanworth. Thoughts on The Last Dance? Are you going to do another video for now? Are you going to do another video now that it's over? I feel like we should just do one giant Last Dance video.
Can I be on it?
Yeah, definitely. Have you seen the whole thing?
No, now I'll watch it now.
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people
What are you
have
laughing
been-
at?
I have no faith in you to knock out 10 hours of The Last Dance in a reasonable amount of time.
No, I will.
Actually, I have more faith in Teddy these days. He's been watching stuff.
I've been putting work in. Get
Right.
off my ass, guy.
Oh, let's see. How long do you think you can finish it in?
A lot of people have called the second half kind of, not necessarily the second half, but as it's continued to air, people are like, oh, it's just propaganda for how good Jordan was.
I'll watch it all day.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty fucking good. That's why they're
To
making
be a
it.
fly on the wall, it gives you that experience to be a fly on the wall and what happened in his life.
Yeah, the amount
with
of
the Bulls.
just behind the scenes footage that he allowed them to shoot for his last season is pretty incredible because those are very intimate moments.
I saw a post that said that the director or the editor couldn't believe that Jordan signed off on like 3/4 of the shit that they put out.
Yeah.
That they put in there.
And the debates going back and forth between apparently Scottie Pippen's really pissed with his portrayal. He doesn't like the fact that they went into so much detail about his contract. Horace Grant calling Michael Jordan a snitch. Now that all these Oakley criticizing Patrick Ewing for not beating the Bulls in '93.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, all these old rivalries and tensions are flaring up again. So it was
You beat the
incredible.
Bulls.
It's the most. For the modern era of sports, they're probably the most dominant dynasty. Them and the Patriots.
Dude, that team is
But
ridiculous.
the Yankees.
Yeah.
They won 4. I mean, you just
It's-
forgot about that, huh? What's the hardest sport to go back to back in? I think it's
Football.
baseball.
Yeah, it's probably baseball.
I think football.
Football's hard too.
Baseball, it hasn't been done since the Yankees.
Well, basketball, it's not easy by any stretch, but if you have that
It's easy. It happens like every 5 years.
yeah, but only to one. Like it's just not like anyone can do it. But if you have
No.
that one transcendent player, then
This question here from It's Just Sander at hold on. It's like hard. You can't. The Zandy Man, 1376. Favorite Seinfeld moment.
Oh, that's tough, dude.
I think the hardest I ever laughed was with Bookman.
You do like yourself some Bookman.
It's so fucking funny.
That's the library cop, right?
Yeah, and when he's
You think
That shit
interrogating
is
about-
funny,
Yeah,
dude. The way he interrogates him like a 1940s detective.
I can't think of one. Maybe one on the top of my head is Newman driving with the fucking bottles, and he got the golf clubs, and he runs it over, and he's like, and it goes on fire.
He's also good in Curb, that guy, Bookman. He's the doctor.
Yeah, when he drools on him, right? My favorite moment is when Kramer is describing the story of how he was driving the bus, how he ends up driving the bus.
Bro.
When he delivers
Now I'm
that,
driving the bus.
the first time I saw that, I fucking lost it. I was like, okay, this is why this show is considered the funniest show of all
One
time.
with Jerry Stiller passing away recently. I was watching some of his old clips, and when they think George is dead and Steinbrenner goes to the house to tell him, it's like, I'm sorry, it tells him that their son might be dead. And he comes with, why the hell did you trade Trey Buhner? He doesn't even care. He yells at him at the Yankees.
No,
And then he calls
amazing.
Jerry at the voicemail, and he walks in. Hey, Jerry, Mr. Costanza, George is dead.
another
Jerry
good one
Stiller
is
just passed away, dude. Rest in peace.
I know.
It's crazy.
When Kramer wakes up in the sack in the river, and he comes back to Jerry's house and tells him the story. Woke up in a sack. She tried to kill me, Jerry.
His storytelling is just amazing.
He's funny.
He's probably my favorite character on that show. But it's amazing how consistent that show was.
I'm banging out. I'm not doing Last Dance. I'm watching Seinfeld now.
I love when George, he doesn't know if he got the job, so he just goes into the office while his boss is on vacation.
Yeah. George has some great moments, man. He's such a ridiculous man.
When he gets fired and he just comes back.
Like it never happened.
Yeah.
Why don't you just show back up? Like
That's based on apparently Larry David did that for Seinfeld, where he was fired from Seinfeld as a writer and he showed up on Monday.
No, he stormed
SNL,
out.
right.
He stormed out and quit. And then he regretted it, and they said, just go back like it never happened.
This question here from Alex at I Don't Karen. More butchered arc, Jon Snow or Jaime Lannister? Well, we get into this on our Season 8 Revisited, which is going to be almost an hour and a half. But it's Jon Snow because I don't think Jaime's arc is butchered at all.
Me neither.
I mean, I think his ending could have been better, and I'm frustrated by his ending. But Jon Snow's arc is chewed up, spit out, stomped on, and just left to die.
I don't know if it's... What was the question? Which one was...
More
butchered more.
Butchered? Well, yeah, like I said, I don't think Jaime's is bad at all. I actually like it for his character. Like you said, some things could have been done different and a little better. But Jon's arc, it just... I don't know if it's butchered more than it doesn't really go anywhere or go the route that we kind of thought it was going to go. So I don't think they really changed his character too much. They just didn't give him enough to do in that final season.
Yeah.
So it's not like they just completely decimated his character.
Right, butchering an arc is
different
more
Jon.
like... Yeah, right. That's kind of butchering an arc, where it was we set something up and then we completely go the opposite direction. I guess people feel that way for Daenerys. I think that could be considered more of a butchering because it wasn't set up enough, and where there was going to be a dramatic change, and it's just not as developed. So that is kind of fumbling the arc more than butchering it. Butchering,
I guess it kind of work. I guess it can work either way.
I feel like
like Varys' arc was butchered. I mean, obviously we don't know where he's going in the books. I went Littlefinger, maybe butchered arc. Because he was so smart, and then all of a sudden he was dumb because they wanted to get rid of him. That's kind of butchering an arc.
You could argue that with Jon, too. I think it's just more of his character. It's just underwhelming what he was able to do in the final season, but most of that due to, I guess, the information of him being Aegon and how he interacts with Daenerys. But really in the season, I mean, he gets people together at Winterfell, and he leads the charge against the Night. I mean, it doesn't really butcher his arc that it was finished in one episode, or people don't like how
it was
that
just
episode
rushed and it
turned
seemed
out.
like it was butchered.
All right, this question here from Mike Barker. Last question. Thoughts on Clint Eastwood as an actor or director, and what are your favorite movies he is associated with? It's funny because I was trying to think the other day, who's the modern day Clint Eastwood? Who's that masculine, tough guy without a name, just kind of wandering cowboy in the West? And I don't know, we don't kind of have an actor who plays that same character who's become iconic in today's movies.
Woody Harrelson?
No, because Clint Eastwood was kind of like, he was a good-looking dude, you know? I mean, Woody Harrelson's a good-looking dude, too. I'm not trying to say anything like that.
He's more... You could see Woody Harrelson in like a Zombieland and things like that, where he's not always in these super serious roles, and he does play some lighter characters. I think when you just think of Clint Eastwood, you think a lot of old Hollywood, John Wayne type. Just this...
He's, I mean, I'm not really saying anything crazy here. He's a Hollywood legend. I mean, he's the definition of a Hollywood legend. He's got the old Hollywood Westerns where he became iconic, and then he went on to be an even better director than an actor. I mean, and I always say this, Unforgiven, one of my favorite movies of all time, but I love what he's done throughout the 2000s. I love Gran Torino. Mystic River is awesome.
Embarrassed to say, but I've only seen Gran Torino and The Mule.
Well, you've seen... I like The Mule. I mean, he does.
I don't like
I
it,
thought they were good.
but I respect him writing in his old-ass character having a threesome.
Well, I mean, what was it? The Mule was his last one, right? No, what was his last one?
The Mule. The one before that
2018
was
was
the
The Mule.
Paris movie.
Right.
Something to Paris. It definitely has a lot of misses too, but...
Well, he's so
He's
old
just-
now, and the fact that he's able to make movies that come out as movies, to me, is impressive. Where I'm not going to hate Sully because it is very simple.
Wow.
I'm just going to enjoy it because an 88-year-old guy made it, and it's a
Well-
good TV movie to watch on, like, TNT.
Clint
got-
Eastwood directed American Sniper?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Like, that's a
Wow.
recent movie that was nominated for some awards, so it's not like he's putting out absolute trash.
$1 Million Baby, 2004 Best Picture winner. So
No, he's definitely Been around for a while.
I think he should get more credit as one of the all-time great directors.
Oh, he did Richard Jewell too. I love that was a
Oh
really
yeah,
good movie.
Richard fucking Jewell. I forgot about that.
That was
a
the
good
movie
movie.
I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to think because I was like, the last one was more critically acclaimed.
Yeah, I forgot
Um,
about Richard
That was
Jewell.
really good.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I love Clint Eastwood, and obviously
bastard.
Scott Eastwood. I like him too. You guys want to take one more question, or you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Well, now you said that, we kind of put us in the spot now. You might as well say one.
This question here from Brett at Brett Mulligan 96. Top 5 TV characters of all time.
Just ended actually.
Okay, well, guys, that's the Nerd Soup
no, I'm
podcast.
joking.
No, that's a tough question. Obviously, reading it, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go
It's a
through.
good
all
question though.
That's a thinker.
All right, I'm gonna go just real off the top. Daenerys Targaryen, Tony Soprano, Walter White, Dale Cooper, Radical Ed from Cowboy Bebop.
How do you do that off the top?
Those are just my 5 favorite TV
Are
characters.
you kidding me?
Well, Tony Soprano's not my favorite Soprano character, but he is the best character, without a doubt.
I agree with Tony Soprano. I agree with Walter White. I agree with Daenerys. So there's 3.
Just copy his list, please.
Well, you got Doug Funny.
No, I'm trying to think of another one that I like.
Arnold from
It's not a
Halo.
show that I like. Are you waiting for me, or I was thinking?
No, I'm waiting for you.
Oh, finish. I'm still thinking.
Oh.
I'm finished. I'm still thinking.
It is a tough question.
I want to hear yours. I'll just copy one of yours.
For me, you know what's weird with Game of Thrones? My favorite character has switched so many times, but actually looking back in the whole series as a whole, it's obviously Cersei. But there were times in the beginning where it's Robb, then Jon, and Tyrion. But it's funny how many favorite characters you can have in that one show, and how it just changes over time. Unlike where I think of Breaking Bad, it's you always like Jesse, you always like Walt. And I'm not saying any other characters are bad, but
Yeah, for me, for Game of Thrones, it's always been Daenerys and Jaime.
yeah.
I've always gone back
But
and
at
forth with
times
those
it's been
two.
Arya, right? It's been Tywin. It's been
Tywin is
Marjorie. It's been
he creeps in. Tywin's like,
yeah.
Michael Scott,
hey, that's my Tywin voice.
Peter Griffin.
I would go Cersei. I love Dexter Morgan, even though that show shit the bed at the end.
DD.
but I still love the character. Yeah. No.
You gotta do one animated too.
I gotta do one animated.
Yeah, with that 5.
Wasn't your question.
Yeah, I thought it was Brett's question, but okay.
Yeah, we're gonna add to it.
Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Well, I think that's
You watch
Scrappy
Bob's
Doo.
Burgers?
Yeah, love Bob's Burgers.
Boo Boo Bear. Hey, Boo Boo.
Home videos. That's the fucking show.
Everybody, we always get comments saying, yo, you guys remind me of Home Videos.
That's the animated show that Bob's Burgers guy does, right? Or one of the guys in there.
Possibly.
It was on Adult Swim, right?
Yeah. Used to creep me the fuck out, those
Yeah.
old Adult Swim adult shows.
Annie Dwyer and Charlie Kelly.
Oh,
Actually, no,
I hate you.
I'll go Leslie
It's a
Knope.
good one.
Yeah, I'll just pick the whole Parks cast.
I saw this, what was it? It was a comparison between Parks and Rec and 30 Rock. And it was like, it was basically
Liz
criticizing
Lemon's a
Parks and
good
Rec for
character,
being
too.
too optimistic, where it was kind of trying to deal with real world issues, but in a, I don't know if they would say a superficial way, but in a fluffy and light way. And 30 Rock was, I guess, I guess they commended the way that they dealt with political issues. They highlighted a joke about, confronting Liz Lemon about why she voted for Obama, and she has no answers. But it's like, once again, these two things are not, I don't want to get into the whole 30 Rock, Parks and Rec debate, but they're not mutually exclusive to writers out there. You can enjoy both shows and both styles and both types of comedy.
Well,
Not everything has to be so goddamn cynical.
I've gotten told to watch 30 Rock so many. I think I'm going to do it.
It's very
It's
good.
funny, yeah. I've been watching Community lately, and it's a hilarious show. But what I've noticed, I'm on like season 4 right now. Every episode is the same exact episode, but they change things stylistically, and they play with a lot of different genres and ideas, which makes it intriguing. But at the basis of every episode, it's the same goddamn thing. It's just one character being selfish in the beginning, realizing they're being selfish, and changing to help their friends out. And that same storyline happens every single episode.
Kind of the same thing in The Office, too, with Michael Scott.
Yeah, that's the old sitcom trope, That's why
Yeah.
Seinfeld was considered so genius.
Oh man, George Costanza, Larry David. It is a bad question to end on without thinking.
All right, guys. Well, sorry that we ended on such a bad question, but I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I thought it was pretty good. I thought we did a pretty good job here.
Wait, the question or the podcast?
No, it's a
No,
good
just the
question.
podcast
Just
as a whole.
unprepared.
Yeah, no. Well,
So I feel like I'm gonna.
Next time, screenshot the question and send it to us.
I was reading them in real time, man. Come on.
I don't like that.
Well, okay. Well, that's a Nerd Soup podcast. Like it, share it with your friends, share it with your family, because they're probably going to be more accepting of things that you like.
You start putting that in the beginning.
Friends are a bit mean. Yeah, I probably
The
should.
like and share.
Well, no, because if they listen this long, then they'll be more willing to like.
Zero
and share.
chance of listening this long. Absolutely zero chance.
Give
I'm
them
not
something to
doing.
comment, Ted. That's the old thing.
All right,
you
Brooklyn.
liked. He already did
You've
Brooklyn.
done that already.
That's all I got, man. All right, home videos. Comment home videos.
He used to do this at the end of every podcast. Remember that?
Yeah, you'd look at
Did
some
anyone
And he
do
would
it?
look at the Brooklyn thing on your wall and say Brooklyn.
lamp.
He
when he
did say
said-
lamp
yeah.
once. Yeah.
Yo, I
And
want
then
to do
he
an
just
ink
ran
block
out of
test so
things.
bad.
What?
I want to do an ink block test so bad.
A Rorschach test.
Yeah, it's an ink block test. Ink blob.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Hey,
I'd like to see, how you picture things.
I feel like I try and make things up to try to sound like I'm sophisticated.
hold on. Let's just right here.
No, get.
Hold on, so I want to see what he
No,
answers.
we're ending the podcast.